Dictionaries aren't the only places where we learn definitions of words. We learn them from the context in which they're spoken, and we learn them when a person in authority teaches us a meaning. In that light, I want to share some insights about a couple of words that I learned in seminary. Now, I admit that I don't often use these words in daily conversation, but knowing them helps me to navigate my reading and understanding of how words formed powerful triggers in my life. The two words are hermeneutics and exegesis. I understand that my saying those two words may have just caused some of you to flip the channel, but hang in there for a moment until I can clarify. Hermeneutics refers to how we interpret the Bible. Do we look at the historical context? Do we research the original language? And of course, our interpretation brings with it our own cultural bias because each interpreter, if you will, is influenced by the economy, the cultural mores, the acceptable societal opinions of the day. Exegesis refers to the meaning that we draw out of the passage. What exactly is the lesson contained in the story, and how might that lesson have an application in my life today? That's the best part for me. In that light, I'd like to take a look at some terms that may be triggers, terms that I know have caused a few of you to flinch. Perhaps because of harm or judgment that you experienced related to that word, or because of a memory of how someone used the word in a way that made you back away. We all know someone who may be living with guilt and shame because of words and their meanings that had been taught in their past. Maybe that person is you. So here we go. It's Word Day here at Calm in the Chaos Interfaith Center. Our first word, sin. The word sin can be related to the ancient Greek word hamartia, meaning to make a mistake or miss the mark. When used in literature, it can take on the meaning of a character flaw. And in religions, the word sin means to miss doing what we're expected to do according to the deity that we ascribe to. When we inspect more thoroughly, we see that the word has been used to frighten people because sin has consequences. The most horrible one being that of our souls living in an eternal state of danger and suffering, commonly known as hell. On a gentler note, I offer two things to consider. Now, I'm not in a position to judge right or wrong. I'm just laying out some new food on the buffet table for consideration. What if the word sin was replaced with the words missed the mark? Instead of a one-time shot at each aspect of living our lives being a heaven or hell moment, what if we were given a second chance? What if forgiveness really was a thing? And after a sinful moment, we were forgiven and allowed another chance. Now, this might include a change of heart within us, an acknowledgement that our missing the mark was either harmful to ourselves or others, or that maybe it was an omission of taking our share of responsibility in a situation. But once we recognized that we had erred, then we made a note to correct that character flaw and we can grow spiritually. Wouldn't that be a more wholesome way for sin to be handled? Now, some may say that going to confession and doing penance is exactly that. But I say it's more than that. We have to change our ways. We cannot continue to make the same mistakes and then atone, get forgiven, and go on without the soul growth that is required of all of us. Next is the word hell. If I wanted to scare you into doing what I wanted you to do right now, to behave in a way that served me, I would create a consequence that scared you so badly you wouldn't think twice about obeying my wish. And that is what hell has become. A consequence so dire that people choose to do anything to avoid it. Even sinning in a new way as to avoid the consequence. conquering fellow humans physically and emotionally, and oppressing them mentally so they themselves avoid hell and can believe they're doing what is being asked of them. It can be a vicious cycle. Hell in my life is anything that moves me a step backwards in my soul growth, a step away from the feeling that I am one with the great spirit of love, the Creator, the holiest of holies. Hell is creating and supporting systems that prohibit groups of people from having full lives with enough food to eat and a place to call home. Hell is treating animals, children, women, and men with cruelty and justifying it with a political move or a personal goal. Hell is right here. So is heaven. It's all laid out on the buffet table for us to sample and choose. And lastly, the word salvation. Christians have used this word while they point to Jesus and tell us that salvation is through accepting him as our Savior. But salvation is not an escape hatch into heaven through Jesus' door. Salvation is a restoration process, returning each of us to a wholeness where we remember that we are divine sparks. Salvation means we live in that state of consciousness. We have been saved, as it were, from feeling separate from God, however you know that word. I don't offer answers, I just offer my thoughts. If these meanings make sense to you, embrace them. If not, cast them aside. Since words are so incredibly important to our lives, I end today with several quotes that have had meaning to me. I do hope at least one of them resonates with you and adds meaning to your day. I have no sources for most of them, just collected quotes over the years from random places. Here's the first one. If it drains you, it's not for you. Love, friendships, jobs, anything meant for you will nourish you, not exhaust you. If you constantly feel depleted after being around someone or something, it's not aligned with your soul. Here's the next one. No state, no church, no vested interest has ever wanted people to have strong souls, because a person with a strong spiritual energy will inevitably be a rebel. Yesterday is heavy. Put it down. Forgiving is not forgetting, it's remembering without anger. A beautiful face will age and a perfect body will change, but a beautiful soul will always be a beautiful soul. Rumi said this one. I do have a reference for it. As you start to walk on the way appears. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes from action. Your mind will always believe everything you tell it. Feed it hope, feed it truth, and feed it with love. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come unto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. I close today with a reading from Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is my wish for you: comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, and love to complete your life. Blessings on all.